Good evening, everyone, and welcome to. Well, it's been a while, but yes, let's welcome you to yet another session from GG Delhi NCR. And hi, Viva, how are we doing?
Good, good, all well. Super cold in Delhi. So
Oh,
I,
yes, yes,
my legs are
absolutely.
inside a blanket right now.
So, well, those who are joining us today, let us know where you are joining from, and are you also coming in from a cold weather? And
Yeah.
are you also sitting comfortably with maybe a cup of tea next to you, or are we comfortably settled in blankets and cozy corners of your house? But we are happy to have you here, and welcome to also those people who might be watching this session a little later, because everything that we are doing stays very much ready to view on our YouTube channel. So that is the place where you can always go and watch our earlier sessions. In case you are new to us, new to this platform, in case you are have not joined our sessions earlier, we'll do a quick round of introduction, and then we'll start talking about today's session, which is hopefully going to be exciting for all of you. Yes, shall we start?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
so definitely today's session is about Gemini, and we have kind of planned, and we hope that we will be able to continue this excitement for the next few weeks as well. But we would want to share a lot of excitement and exciting updates that have come in Gemini, and we are going to try and do them in chunks, not deliver it all together in one session. So today's session will be just the start of a series which we have addressed and titled as the Gemini Educator Toolkit. So this is something which possibly is going to be helpful for all of you to understand and follow with us. But as I said, let's first start with an introduction of who we are and what we are doing. So we are a team of, I would say, self motivated, self driven educators, also tech passionate teachers. Um, Two of us, Vibha and I, come from maths background, whereas Sanchita and Rupali come from social science and economics background. So we do have very different specializations, but we have a common interest and common love is to share, and not only just share, but first, of course, learn and then share to empower others. So this is our team. I'm Sangeeta Gulati, and here is our co-leader Sanchita Ghosh. We also have Rupali as the leader. She still says that she would want to be called as a captain, but she is, and same is Vibha. We are all co-leaders in this team, and happy to have everyone joining us here. Before we move ahead, uh, again, in case you have not joined us earlier, we are almost, no, we are 5 plus now, 5 plus,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We are 5 years plus old. So if you have still not met us, then it's time that you get connected with us. You come to a maybe visit our website. So this is the website that, even if you just Google GEG Delhi NCR, and in case you're very, very new, GEG is for Google Educators Group. So Google Educators Group are voluntary group of educators. You'll find Google Educators Group all across the world. There could be one in the state where you are staying right now, or the city where you are staying right now. But it really does not matter, especially now with the technology and these, kind sessions that we are doing. The boundaries have dissolved completely. So it doesn't matter which region you are from, you are still can be part of another GEG. So be member of GEG Delhi NCR no matter where you stay, and come and visit this website. So just Google for GEG Delhi NCR, you will be able to land on our website, but we'll put the link also in the chat for you to follow up with. And here is where you can actually go and learn about us. learn about what is a GEG, who we are, and some other, maybe some questions that you may have in your mind. Tell us, Viva, what else do we have on this website?
One very amazing thing we have on the website is the people's page, is the voices from our community. So as ma'am was just sharing that we are 5 plus, we are 5 years old, and there have been people who have been a part of this journey from right the first day itself. And a few of them you can see right here. So we love featuring all of you on our page. So if you could write a little bit about your journey with us. I do see a few familiar names in the comment section. If you can write a little bit, when did you join, or maybe what did you learn, or do you like to have your evening chai with our sessions, anything at all, we'd love to hear from you. So just message it to any one of us, any one of the four of us, and we'd love to have your little testimonials right here with a little picture. And
Yeah.
I can see people from GG Malaysia as well. Lovely having you all here. Thank you for joining in.
Yes, yes, I am. Or as I just said, the boundaries have completely dissolved, so it does not matter which part of the world you are from. So, people, if you're joining us from Malaysia, MK is always our big supporter, and we look forward to having you with us, MK. Definitely. So, welcome and thank you for spreading the word for us as well, and sharing our sessions with your community. And of course, we are happy to have people from Ooty. We have people joining also from other states. So definitely, we look forward to as we go along, and would love to hear, your experience with us. So reach out to us, and how do you reach out to us? Is simply again come to the website, and you will be able to find a page there and connect with us. So this is the page where you can connect with us on all our social media. So we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on X. We of course have a robust YouTube channel with almost 180 videos there, and we have also a LinkedIn page. We'll be happy to have you join us on WhatsApp group as well, if that's what works for you. All the links are available here. Go ahead and try them out, and let's get connected. So we'll be looking forward to bringing you and featuring you and your suggestions and your feedback on our page as Voices from Community. You can also come and check out our earlier recordings under the events. So under the events, because this is the first session of 2026, as more events get done, they'll be populated here. But if you want to go back to our earlier events, you will be able to see them again on our website. So it kind of becomes a one stop visit. And of course, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can check out our playlist as well. So happy to have that ready with us. And I think with that, we'll be happy to move on to, main topic of the session today, and that is to bring you a little more perspective about how Gemini and the advancements and the various features of Gemini that have come in, how that is going to make a difference in the way we teach and we learn.
Yes.
So yeah, all right, let's get going, Vibhav. What do you want to learn, know from us? What do you use AI for?
Of course. So this is a question open to all of you who are watching us live right now. What do you use it for? It's out there. Let's face it. I mean, we're not talking about this is where you find AI. This is where you find AI. This is something we're aware now. We're well educated on that now. Our question is, what are you using it for? In your daily lives, or maybe what's a fun way that you've been using AI. We'd love to know about your usage. Um, of course, as I said, whether it's daily life or whether it's a fun way that you make use of AI. If I may start, the funnest
Yeah.
way I have used it for is my best friend got married about a year ago, and I asked Gemini to give me the songs for the Sangeet. And I asked Gemini that, okay, these are the combinations that are going to dance. First parents are going to dance, and then the chachas and chachis are going to dance, and things like those. And it gave me very good Bollywood song suggestions. That was one fun way I used it for. So any thoughts, any responses in the comment box? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we would definitely want to hear from you before we, keep talking. So we are giving you a chance to, share in the chat. So put your, fun thing that you have done with, any AI tool. It doesn't have to be Gemini, but any AI tool that you might have used. So what have you used, Gemini or any AI tool for? So let's hear that happening here. Maybe I can share in the meanwhile what people are, while people are typing in. So, Vibha, you would know that at least during the COVID time, the Bitmojis became very popular.
Yes.
So Bitmojis were very popular. They still are popular. Teachers were creating lesson plans and the entire content with a lot of Bitmojis,
Hmm.
and bitmojis could be customized in terms of you could add any kind of text,
Right.
and the bitmoji would take that. Now suddenly, in the recent months, that is no longer a possibility. It would not customize it for you. Also, if there is somebody who you know, and that person is not using bitmoji, you cannot create their bitmoji twinned with you.
Right.
So now the tools are so advanced. So you, in Gemini itself, and in subsequent sessions, maybe we'll talk about it. It is possible to take image of a person and ask the AI tool to create a Bitmoji
Yeah.
and to add a text with it, customized text with it. So there is a way that we say call a gem in Gemini. So
Yeah.
you can create your own gems, and this is what I have just used to celebrate somebody's birthday, who I know is not using Bitmoji, not on my contact list as well. It's actually is a young kid, and I just use that image to turn into Bitmojis with various messages, and created a birthday celebration card for them. So that was something which I tried for after a long time, trying to bring that Bitmoji fun
Hmm.
back into the game. So that is something possible, which is now, especially with the way the Gemini has brought in so much of power with images. There is a way that you can do. So hopefully in the subsequent sessions, we'll be spending
Right.
time on how the images can be used in your classroom in a more powerful way, because you have the tools with you to do that. So I see now I have some comments here. There are, of course, travel plans. Why not?
Plans.
Yes, AI tools are great at giving you the travel plans, the
Yeah,
entire
and
itinerary.
shopping suggestions. Shopping suggestions, I must say. I am going to so and so area. I'm going to stay in so and so area. What are the closest markets? That's
Yes,
also
yes,
something that does a pretty good job.
right, right. And yeah, I think Sudha said wow for something. Maybe she liked either your or my
The
ideas.
Bitmoji
And of
one.
course, yeah. And yeah, MK talks about lesson plan. So yes, that I think, MK, this is one of the very common use from educators, where they are using, AI tools to create a lesson plan. Because again, when we talk about using AI tools, why should teachers or anyone else use AI is because you are trying to save time.
Right.
So, something which is a repeated task and you want to save time for that, AI comes in. And that is a great use. So, lesson plans is a part of our, as a teacher, the routine. And that is where possibly it can really make a difference. All right. So I think we'll get started, and we hope that our session will, excite you to think about more and more of these ideas. We are going to, of course, focus on Gemini, and we will be. trying to suggest and recommend that of course Gemini is available in our private consumer accounts, that is with your Gmail. You will be able to log into Gemini both on web as well as a mobile app. But we recommend that you use Workspace for Education account for a good reason, especially when you are working with students, because the chat that you do with Gemini using your Workspace Education account is not used to further train the AI models. So privacy and security comes, first and foremost when we are using AI tool with our students in our classroom. So it is helpful that you keep this perspective in mind. But yes, the tools that we are going to talk about are going to be all free, all available for everyone, whether you are using Workspace for Education or your private consumer accounts. So that is something to keep in mind, because we need to be aware of the fact that any AI tool that you sign in for will track your use. The chat will be used to further train models, because this is how AI works. AI works and learns from the data, and that data is only generated when there is a conversation happening there. So, with Workspace for Education account, that privacy is going to be maintained, but you are free to use it in consumer accounts as well. So, with that thought thrown out, let's think about what Gemini looks like. Give us a thumbs up in the chat if you have already used Gemini. And over the last few months, you have noticed the change that has come in. So when you open, on web, if you open gemini.google.com, this is the page that you would get. There is a little chat box in the on the screen, and then you are able to see a plus sign. There is also a tool that you would be able to see. So you're looking at a tools, which is the hidden part of Gemini. Unless you click on it, you won't be able to see these little special features, which also includes deep research, create images. We are looking at also guided learning, and of course Canvas, and few other tools get added in if you have more than the regular Gemini, that is if you have signed in for labs, etc. At the same time, there is a plus sign which you can use to upload files. You can add from Drive. And now, actually, we also have another little button here to add even the notebook LM. So, all of that has happened. And of course, you can talk to Gemini, you can record what you want to ask it and to do so, or you can type it. The models also have changed. So we are looking at a thinking model, then you also have a fast and you have a pro. So here again, when we are looking at fast, is free and has a huge number of tokens, so you would not be able to run into saying okay, come back next day. But if you're using a pro model of it, then you have limited tokens for a day. But if you are using it for a special reason, then be careful on how loosely you use it, because you may run out of the tokens and have to wait for the 24 hours to recover and start fresh. Another good thing about Gemini app is what you see on a web. If you're signed in with the same Gmail on a mobile app, the same conversations continue. So all your chats that are here are going to be available on your mobile app as well. So that I think is so good, because sometime on the go you want to try out something or check out, you can do that. So hopefully this has given you a good start to think about how Gemini can be explored a little more than what it looks like. Is that helpful? Any queries coming in
We're getting
from
a lot of
our
thumbs up.
viewers?
A lot of thumbs up.
Lots of them. Right. So what do you think? We are going to do, not go through the slides much. We are ready to do a live demo.
Yeah.
So, what do you think we should start first with? What's
I
your
think
suggestion, Vibha?
we should start with what MK said. We can start with the
Okay.
lesson plan. That's probably the most basic thing and the most important thing in a teacher's life.
Okay.
And the number of lesson plans, I can definitely say for the Indian teachers, it's sometimes a headache
Yeah.
to get those lesson plans done, to create those lesson plans. I remember those huge long registers that a lot of teachers are required to keep and write in
Right,
those.
right, right,
I
right.
guess let's
Okay,
start.
so again, as I opened Gemini, that's a prompt. Where should we start? So we can start at the very beginning. And we are looking at here is this little cursor blinking, inviting me to start typing in. And I'm going to change this tool. As I said, Pro has limited versions, so I'm tokens. So I'm going to keep it at fast right now. And this is just an advice. Do check this out in case the previous use was pro, then this might keep showing as pro. All right, what do you want? Create a lesson plan. So let's write
Yes,
it.
create a
Create a
lesson plan.
lesson plan. On what? What should I create a lesson plan on?
Let's say digestive system,
Okay, digestive
pretty
system.
universal topic.
Okay, create a lesson plan on digestive system.
Yeah.
So is this all you want me to type in, or does it look
Yes.
like the Gemini will understand?
I mean, it should creating a lesson plan on digestive system. Maybe class that should be good enough.
Yes, because
I
if you're saying create a lesson plan, then for whom are we creating lesson plan,
Yes.
right? What level? Because digestive system can be studied at even MBBS level. Medical student might also want it. So create a lesson plan on digestive system for class 5,
Class five.
perhaps,
I think
right?
so.
Okay,
It's around 5 or 6.
okay.
If I'm not wrong. Sorry,
Uh,
science teachers, if there are any in the viewers.
Excuse
I think
us.
it's
We are
around
just
five or
going to play
six.
with that. Right. So let's start
Let's
with the very, very basic. इतना ही करते हैं and let's send this out. So
yes.
if you just submit this, let's see if we get, and again, the whole idea of if this is what you want, well, take a look. We did not specify a lot of things which Gemini has understood. It has already made a lesson for duration of 45 to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Is this what normally would be the duration in your classroom? Or do you want this to be a very specific 35 to 40 minutes kind of a lesson?
Yeah, it's mostly
Yeah,
35 to 40 minutes in an Indian scenario.
but we
It's
didn't
mostly
ask, we didn't specify here,
should have. Yeah.
right? So that is something which is a gap in our prompt. The prompt that we have asked used here was not very defined. We didn't think too hard, we just asked. So I think we have to go back to this. And although it has done a good job in terms of giving us learning objectives, we didn't ask that as well. It has also given, now it's just describing the digestive roadmap. I
Hmm.
didn't want this. I am not interested in learning digestive system. I want to get a lesson plan. So this is not really the lesson plan that I can use immediately to put it in my records, which is going to help a teacher to plan their 35 to 40 minutes class.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Vibha? Something is missing here. What should
So
we change?
I guess first thing needs to be duration. I need to tell. So AI is end of the day artificial intelligence. It doesn't know what's happening in my classroom. It doesn't know my students. So I
Yeah.
guess it doesn't know my situation. My situation is that I have a 35-minute class. So I guess the
Hmm.
first thing that I need to start with is specifying the duration. Of course, the topic, the grade, that's something we
Yeah.
did keep in mind for the first time. Um, but yes, the duration of the class.
So because our periods are very restricted, the bell will ring after 35 minutes. If it's a 40 minutes, then I can make a plan for 35 minutes. So that has to go into it. So
Right.
digestive system for duration of 35 minutes
For
for
grades.
class
Yeah.
5, we said,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
And
does it need anything else?
I guess the kind of curriculum that I'm teaching,
Right. So,
is it
class
national
five
or
in a, maybe if I'm teaching in a CBSE
CBSE school?
school or international school, that can be mentioned because that curriculum has to be followed,
Right.
right? So,
That,
create a lesson plan on the topic digestive system for duration of 35 minutes for class 5 in a CBSE school.
yes.
Again, another thing you can do here, if you have the chapter, the lesson from the textbook available to you, you can download that as a PDF and you can actually attach or add that file here. So
Hmm.
this would become then the reference context on the basis of which the lesson would be planned. So that's
Right.
another thing that should be kept in mind.
Right.
What else do you want to add here? Because we
Or
wanted a
maybe
lesson plan which should have learning objective, right? So we have said that. Let's do
mention
that.
that.
Include learning objectives.
And
What
maybe
else?
learning objectives aligned to the NCF.
Yes, objectives
That's something that
aligned
we really need to do. And in fact,
to,
what ma'am was just saying, we can download a PDF and attach it. We can probably even mention that base the content, the difficulty level of the content should be based on the NCERT.
yeah.
That's also
So
something
if
special
I
needs of.
have the chapter, then that would go along with it,
Yes.
right? So learning objectives, what else should I? So every school has a certain format of lesson plan,
Yeah.
right? So you can have learning objectives, you have um, uh, an introduction perhaps, or
Introduction,
hook activity,
a hook
right?
activity.
So intro or hook activity,
Yeah.
because how do you start a lesson, that matters,
Yeah.
right? What
Again,
else does
maybe
the lesson plan have?
maybe a little bit more of context in terms of, do I teach in a government school, do I teach in a private school. In
Yeah.
fact, as we're speaking, if there are any thoughts in the chat box, in the comment box, please do share with us if you think you can add on to this prompt. And yes, Gurbir ji, we can definitely edit the earlier prompt. The idea
Yes.
here was to show you the before and after. That's the only
Yes.
reason that we're not doing that, as
Yeah.
ma'am is
We
sharing
can,
that.
right. So we could edit here, but we want to show the difference in the way the lesson plan is going to formulate.
Yeah.
So, yes, if you would want to do that, absolutely feel free to do that. So, include learning objectives aligned to NEP 2020, intro hook activity. Let's also bring in some more assignments and tasks for the class, perhaps
Yeah.
some
Right.
group task,
Some group tasks.
right?
um yeah, and maybe when we are talking about group tasks, we can probably also mention the kind of strength that I'm dealing with. Do I have a 20 class, do I have a
Mm,
30 ka class, do I have a 50 ka class, whatever it is. What
okay.
is my situation? I need to tell Gemini. I have,
Yes.
let's say, a strength of 30 students in a government school, or a
Mm,
40 students in a private school, whatever it is.
yes. Yeah, so that of course we have added in. We can
Yeah.
also, if you want to have a digital task, so you
Right.
can also mention what kind of infrastructure you have in classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So that can also, I think, be a good idea to let the Gemini know that, right? So can maybe I have a smart board,
In the classroom, yeah.
right? So I can mention that I have a smart board for teacher, because this become a teacher device,
Yeah.
right? So include an appropriate, maybe some kind of a multimedia, some
Mhm.
appropriate activity. So this is helpful. You can also say smart board for teacher, but no device
For
for
students.
students. Or if you have Chromebooks in class for your students, then you can mention that I do have Chromebooks for my students to access. So the plan will then automatically will suggest something which is more suitable, and something which can be then conducted, in that environment. But no
Right.
device for students, so include an appropriate activity. Okay,
Right.
so I think that covers a whole lot. Anything else coming to your mind that we can?
Maybe, yeah, maybe in terms of additional resources. So maybe I want that in the lesson plan itself. Let's
Yeah.
say, as additional resources at the end of the lesson, I want to give them some videos, some web pages to do some kind of self study.
Hmm,
So we can
absolutely.
ask it to create some, sorry, include some kind of links. Search the web,
Yes.
include a few links.
Yeah. Also, because every class ends with homework,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So include, so why not, every lesson plan should have how the lesson
Conclusion.
is going to end. So
Yeah.
include, maybe, homework.
Homework or
Again,
a
some people give it a name other than homework. Some schools call it as a way forward. So, you end up the lesson, and then what are the students going to do? Include homework. Now, another thing which I would like to suggest here, Vibha, because usually what we do is we create the lesson plan in a slightly structured format.
Mhm.
So, what kind of an output do you want it to look like? A long list like this? Here, although some part of it has come in, which I can export into the sheets, which is actually the theoretical part. But what I can do is I can say structure this
In
in
a
a
tablet. Yeah.
tabulated form or in a table, maybe, right? So the benefit of that is anytime there's a table coming like the one that you're seeing here, I will be able to export this to sheets as well,
Yeah.
right? I can then look at the how we are going to get used to or get this chat taken out of Gemini. So this is one of the suggestion that if you want it to be tabulated in a structured format, you can actually mention that. You can
Yeah.
also mention, specific headings of the table, all that you would want. So I was telling Vibha the other day that we often tell our students and ourselves as well not to do oversharing. But
Mhm.
when you are prompting Gemini, then oversharing is good,
Yeah.
not of sensitive information, but what you want coming out of it. The elaborate prompts will help. Of course, iterations are possible, which is was suggested by one of us, and this is what we are doing. You once we get what it comes up with, we can then still iterate. That there's a pen icon. That's the beauty of it. But I think this is good enough to test out and see, what it results in. Are we ready to send it out?
Let's do that.
Yeah. So again, just with the change in it, so I've got some emphasis on NEP 2020, and it has already picked up focus on experiential and play based learning. It's a class 5 CBSE, duration 35 minutes. It has given me the sections duration for each one of them as well, and the corresponding student activity, what is the content and teacher activity. And I always love this part, the little sparkle that comes in our lesson plans with these names that are given to these activities. So it's given a hook and intro activity for 5 minutes, called it Mystery Cracker.
It's a
So
really good
give
one.
each student a small piece of cracker or biscuit, ask them to chew it 20 minutes without swallowing.
20 times. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to how, this would then be extended into the lesson, because we are talking about digestive system. And what are the students supposed to do? Students are supposed to observe how the taste changes from salty, bland to sweet as saliva breaks down starch. So I think this is good. Again, science teachers tell me if I'm introducing the concept of digestive system to class 5, possibly this is one of the questions that you would ask, what is the function of saliva? So this could be one of the way to start students being aware of the digestive system, which is, experienced without them being aware of it every day, every moment.
Yeah.
And again, here is a smart board suggestion: 10-minute display a label diagram, use the board to trace the path of food from mouth, etc. And it has given you an image also, of course, shutterstock, so no copyright concerns, you can use this. And then students air draw the organs in the ear as the teacher points them to on the smart board. I think it's doable activity, and then it's suggesting some group activity. So going straight down, there are some additional resources, NEP focus points as well, because we do in our lesson plan want to highlight that, and you are ready to then move onwards from there. So you can see how the lesson plan has changed from our first attempt to what it now looks like. And
Yeah.
since I asked for table, I can export from here to the Google Sheets. You can also, of course, copy and paste this content, but export to Sheets and it will open into the Google Sheets. The idea is that this then can be used and collaborated with another teacher. You can then come back to this and edit it. You can, look at in whichever way or format you want to turn it around. So again, uh, everything is customizable. You can add to it and then turn it into either a digital or a printable lesson plan. Every possibility exists, but you can also copy and then paste it into another word processor document, and you are get good to go. Another thing I noticed here was this. It also says, would you like me to generate a printable worksheet with the label, the organs diagram, and a crossword puzzle for the lesson? Isn't that good?
That's amazing. And I must tell you, Vinti ma'am said this before Gemini. Vinti ma'am wrote that we should ask Gemini to create a crossword based on this as a home assignment. And Vinti ma'am,
Okay.
there you go. That's what Gemini is also suggesting. Should I create one?
So,
Yes.
um, all right. So it has created I just wrote yes, please. So it has understood. I've created the worksheet and crossword puzzle for your lesson plan, and it has gone a step ahead. It has also saved it as a note for me in Google Keep. In subsequent sessions, we will be talking about how Gemini and Google Workspace apps can talk to each other. So, this is, in fact, again, the benefit and the one would say the thrill of doing live demos, because sometimes unexpected things comes up. So usually what I do is when I want to save a chat, I save it in Google Keep. So my Gemini is used to doing that. It gets trained, as we all know. Maybe that's the reason why it has automatically taken my note to the Google Keep. So it has given me something here, which I'm not too sure if this is workable, or if this is what is immediately of use. So you will have to then again iterate, because this is not given me what I wanted. I wanted actually the worksheet. This has just given me the description. So maybe we can then ask it to, change it, and I can say, create, right? I want a printable worksheet. This is what it asks for. So I want let's take it step by step. One of the things that again has, been my experience, when you ask Gemini to iterate or to change the some plan as we are doing, and you ask too many things together or two things even together, sometimes the essence is lost. So I'm going to just ask it to maybe create a printable worksheet with a label, the organs diagram. Again, whether it will work right now or not is anybody's guess. But I also would suggest that when we go into the images part or creating images part of the Gemini, you will find that this will become better, because then I will have the images on and I'll be able to do that. So it is here, and I'm still not happy with what it has created. I don't know why it is creating in the uh, keep. I didn't want that, right? So I wanted actually the image coming in and so on. So the image part, we will have to come back to it later and then try it again. But it says it includes a labeling section with this. So maybe just hang on to this, and I have another idea coming in my mind, and I'm going to, in this today's session only, try to come back and create another interesting activity which would serve the purpose of what this worksheet is doing. So hang on to that, but always remember, and this is again a lesson for all of us, that Gemini or any AI tool will not always give you what you are expecting it to be. But as a teacher, as an educator, as a person of experience, you must visit every part of it again and see how suitable it is for your classroom, and then customize it so that human in loop, as one constantly is hearing the phrase, is going to play a big role in the way that you customize what you are looking at. So again, giving you a, an opportunity to come go back to this later and try it on your own and see, what kind of response, because the responses are going to be very random. What we have seen right now may not be what you get. So come back to that and try, in your way, is to, what it results in. So let's move on from here to uh, getting talking about, what changed in our iteration. How did we, what are the things that we took care of? Viva, want to take this?
Yes, yes, I would love to. And before I talk about it, I request all the viewers right now, please just try to. I know you might be, I mean, you must be belonging to different subjects, different grades, etc. But just try to think of this very basic topic like a digestive system, and think about the things that we still could have added to that particular prompt that we were talking about. You feel like, oh, you maybe you want to tell us that you guys did a good job, but you could have added this as well, just like Vinti ma'am said that, ask it to create a crossword based on this as a home assignment. So if there's any such suggestion coming in, please do tell us about that. And what we're quickly going to discuss about is something called prompt engineering, which basically means to be able to make sure that we are thorough with our prompt, right? It's as basic as the better input, the better I will have the output, right? So whatever I ask an AI tool to you to do, it'll do that, exactly that thing, right? And exactly
Yeah.
what Sangeeta ma'am was just saying, that especially when it comes to students, especially when it's something that has to go to a student, you need to read it twice, you need to make sure it's correct. But yes, you need to put in time on making sure your prompt is also correct. Don't always be in a hurry and be like, oh, AI is supposed to help me quickly, and that's why I need to write a prompt quickly, right? So just keep that in mind, and it's basically intentionally phrasing your input, right? And there's a little trick for us to be able to do that. That's something called, it's an acronym, and that's something called parts, right? Quickly going through, go to all the parts of this, and I'm going to talk about the little things that we included in our digestive system prompt. Basically, it says that when you're writing a prompt, you need to tell Gemini, the first thing you need to tell Gemini is your persona. Who are you? Right? Now, I am not a science teacher, but right now I wanted a lesson plan on digestive system. So I want to tell Gemini, act as a grade 5 science teacher, right? Maybe I can even say act as a experienced grade 5 science teacher, and then I move on with my prompt. And whatever your situation is, if you're getting a mail written, specify that, okay, I am teaching in so and so school, or I am in so and so position, or I am preparing for a wedding, and I need wedding suggestions and things like those. Just make sure that you give your persona. Who are you? Who's the one who's acting here? Then comes A, which stands for aim. Basically, make sure your objective is very, very, very clear. In our case, we wanted a lesson plan on digestive system for grade 5, right? That's our desired outcome. So our aim needs to be super clear, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be in this order. It just has to make sure that it includes all these five things. Third, we reach R, which is recipients. Now, in our case, recipients can be R when we mentioned that grade 5 students. Now, that's exactly what I said a little while ago, that that's artificial intelligence that does not know my class, my students, my situation, right? I can't expect it. Oh, this Gemini gives me such hi-fi lesson plans. It's not possible in my classroom. Did I tell Gemini what is my classroom like, right? So I need to tell Gemini that, let's say I have 30 students in my classroom, and I teach in a private school. And it's also a good idea to tell what Sangeeta was saying, that oversharing in terms of, it's a good idea to say I teach in a private school, in a school in XYZ city, whether it's a metro city or a city that a little smaller city. That also changes a lot of things in terms of resources and contexts, right? So it's a good idea to mention that I teach in so and so city, and I teach in a private school. And probably something like, my kids come from a Hindi speaking background, but this is an English medium school. I want the lesson plan in English, but I want basic English, right? Don't give me very hi-fi, very complicated English words that my kids don't understand. They come from a very basic background. So things like those, mentioning things like those is a good idea, right? Make sure Gemini understands your context. Then, of course, the theme. What is the kind of style? What is the kind of tone you're looking for? Especially when it's a male, you might want to mention that I want you to use a very formal tone. When it's a lesson plan, you might want to describe a little bit more about any related parameters in terms of, as we were mentioning, base it on the NCERT textbook. Make sure the lesson objectives are aligned to the NEP. Um, Basic little things like those. It's always a good idea to mention what else do I want in my lesson plan, or whatever it is that you're getting it created for. And of course, the structure. Again, what Sangeeta ma'am just mentioned. She said, she asked um, Gemini to create a table, right? So if you want it to come out in a table, so we were asking it to create a lesson plan and we wanted it to be in a table. Maybe you're asking it to create a report and you want certain things to be in bullet points. You want certain things to be bold. You want, you're creating a fun, let's say a social media caption. You want some emojis in your caption. So whatever it is that you need, make sure that you very, very clearly specify the structure of the output that you require. It will be really, really helpful. And again, as I mentioned, doesn't necessarily have to be in this order, but make sure you include all five of these. So persona, aim, recipients, theme, and structure. That's parts, right? And
Yeah.
with that thought, if there's somebody who has who's thinking of something, there's a little point that you've come across, you want to suggest us, we could have included certain things in our prompt that ma'am was just working on. We'd love to hear from you before we move on.
Yeah. And you did say that all five would be helpful, but even if you don't use all five, you use three, but elaborate. You need
Elaborate.
to give specific instructions, then only you would get a good. So there is a bad response and a good response, or a best response. But definitely do keep this form framework in mind, and it's
Yeah,
going to make a difference, definitely. So,
absolutely.
yeah, and as you were, talking, Vibha, what I did was I opened that keep note that kept coming in, because I wasn't too sure, why it is always sending me off to Google Keep. And when I opened that keep note, it gave me this worksheet. The
Mhm.
diagram is still missing, but it gave me this worksheet, which again, if you are using Google Keep, you would know that there is a provision to copy this to Docs. So you can copy from right here to Google Docs. And this is exactly what I did. and you have a worksheet ready to go, you do have the word bank, etc. What is still missing is the diagram, and we'll try to cover that when we go in a session where we are creating images with especially the nano banana coming in. Then these kind of worksheets will become much more rich in the way that we would want them to be used. So just didn't want to leave that conversation incomplete in terms of what the output of Gemini came out, right?
Yes.
So that was something good and exciting and something different, which happened just now.
That's interesting. And again, as ma'am was saying, that's the thrill of doing live demos. You understand there'll always be something new that just comes up, and you had not thought about it. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank
exactly.
you for sharing that, ma'am. And with that, we'll just quickly go through a few points. And before we move to the amazing idea that Sangeeta ma'am has ready for us to see, these are a few, if I may say, ideas, a few suggestions, because this is a little something that we have heard from a lot of teachers saying that, oh, what will AI do for me? AI will only maybe create my lesson plan or maybe create a worksheet for me. This a little collation is just meant for people who are thinking that oh, I can only do this much. There is so much more that you can do. And whenever you're trying to crib about, whenever you're thinking of cribbing about, oh, NEP is saying do activity, where do I get this activity from? Ask Gemini, right? So little things like those, you're creating a presentation, you need a little help with the kind of content. You have a huge document and you want to put it into a presentation, ask it to put it down into create pointers for you. Maybe you want to do some kind of differentiation in the class. There are some very complex concepts. So this is something I have done very recently. uh, you know there was this very complicated concept for me. I will not say it, but there was this very complicated concept. What I did was I just asked Gemini that, explain it to me like I'm a 10-year-old. So it just kind of scaffolded the whole thing and made it into such simple words and such simple little language. So if there's something that you also struggle with, we all have, our topics of struggle, our subjects of struggle, you can always do that. And imagine what kind of help can a child get. So if there's this child in your class who's struggling with a very complex concept, break it down, create stories out of it. You have a very complex concept, you want to teach that complex concept, and uh, you can make sure you create stories. In fact, one of our following sessions that we do on Gemini, we will talk about creating storybooks with Gemini as well. And of course, creating rubrics, getting feedback on assignments. Now, I'll not say that Gemini will do all the corrections for you, let's face it, right? That's not happening. But what you can do is, when you have, especially with senior kids, when you have long assignments, you can give a good prompt, explain the whole context to Gemini, and say that, okay, now I'm giving you an assignment of a child, read through and give me a good pointed feedback on so and so criteria. Because whenever we are, especially with senior kids, when we are assessing, there are always criteria based assessments, right? Again, read through, always read through whenever there is, even more specifically when there are children involved. And then of course, the mails and the communications that need to go out to parents. You need to create behavior logs for students, you need to create classroom rules, little things like those. Your class has been, as the class teacher, you have been given the duty of doing the next class assembly, right? And you're wondering, okay, now I have to do a song also, have to do a dance also, have to do a skit also. What do I do, right? Ask Gemini that, okay, this is the date. Let's say 15th Feb is the date for my class assembly. What's a festival that's coming around it? Maybe I can pick a theme around that. Ask it, okay, what are the kind of dance, or what are the kind of singing, or what is the kind of skit I can do around it? Can you give me the script for it, right? So that's also something you can very well make use of. And of course, we did see a lot of quiz content, a lot of questions, a lot of, when we say official documents, we mean basically reports. In fact, even report cards are being generated. Some some teachers, I have seen that do happening, because they have structures very well in place, and the report cards are being sent out on Gemini, and sorry, uploaded on Gemini, and the feedback dialogue that needs to be written is also being, Gemini is being used for that as well. And of course, games, and games with that, I'll request Sangeeta ma'am to show us the little magic that she had planned for us. You can create some very interesting games, and I can assure you, depends on your prompt. So
Yes,
if you're
exactly.
struggling, again, this is something we have seen a lot of people say, uh-huh, this doesn't work for me, because
Yeah,
you're not in the correct prompt. Make sure it's a detailed prompt.
right.
Over to Sangeeta.
Yeah, and again, just to add to all that you have done, there's a session that we have just recently done in collaboration of Google and NCRT, where we have shown how to use Gemini to identify the misconceptions that can be clarified and include these misconceptions in our lesson plan. So it's a series of four sessions that happened, and put the link of the first session in the chat. Do go and check that out and follow the rest of the sessions as well. In fact, now this is available as a course in Diksha, so go and finish that course and get a certificate as well. Once you attempt that quiz, so that's something for you to think about. So definitely that's something for you to try it out. Let's get to the interesting part. That is the second part of that session. I know we have kind of almost talked for an hour, but I'm going to take 15 minutes or 10 minutes just to excite you, because again, as we were said, it's all about the prompt, right? So if you want to turn all of this that we are looking at as the worksheet or certain activity that you want to do with your student into a more dynamic, more, one would say, exciting aspect, then there is a canvas that is available is with us in Gemini. So the Gemini canvas is absolutely amazing. It helps you to create, it helps you to code without knowing a word or line of coding. So there is something called as a vibe coding. That vibe coding is a phenomena which has really changed the way that people are experimenting with creating the various kind of simulation or interactive elements, leading right up to the apps as well. All of that in collaboration with Gemini in one space. So that's the excitement and interesting part of Gemini that we want to explore today. Starting with here again, back again in our Gemini. And here, all I'm looking for is, trying to maybe start with first, getting out of the worksheet environment. What if I want to create a little bit of an interactive quiz? Right? So if I just ask Gemini, create an interactive quiz with 5 questions on digestive system for class 5. Now, most likely, it might just, if I put this out, it might just give me a list of the questions. I don't want the list of the questions. I want it to be a little interactive. So before we send this out, let's go to clicking on in the tools and activate the canvas. So this is important. Before you send out the prompt, activate the canvas and see how it results. So here is an interactive quiz with 5 questions, and you can see now it has split into 2 panels. On the left side, it is showing me the thinking part of it, and then it's going to give me the quiz ready to use here. So what's the difference between a worksheet and an interactive quiz? Here is where the question starts. So where does the process of digestion first begin in the human body? I'm going to go with wrong answers, even if I do know them, although, well, chances are I might not know them, right? So maybe I can start with this, and it gives me the feedback. That's the thrill and excitement, because you're still learning, right? You're teaching student and you are trying to make them learn. So this is one way that student, if they get it wrong, they would also get a feedback from there. Moving to the next question again, I'm going to just go tic tac toe and go ahead and show you, what does, looking at possibly the right answer and the wrong answer kind of a thing. And let's see where it goes. So I'm looking at via the walls to help push and so on. So I'm looking at to increase the surface area for nutrient absorption. So this is done very quickly just to give you the end result as to, what happens once the quiz is over. What happens is you click on done and you get the entire report card. So I got just none of them correct. And then it gives me the analysis of my performance. It also creates many other artifacts. So it helps you create flashcards. So flashcards again are absolute great tools while you are teaching your students. So you can do this activity with your students in the class, project the screen, and you can then start creating this or have a pre-prepared quiz ready. Do this with your class, identify, where are the students missing out, and maybe want to just start the revision. You can use these flashcards to do that revision with them. So it does, come up with a whole lot of these possibilities. So the organ comes up, you can ask them what says role in the digestive system and have a discussion. You want to shuffle the cards, you can do that as well. Think of, creating these take a whole lot of time. So it would be quite a tedious task for you to do, but here, just on a click, right then and there, you are able to do this. More than that, what you can also do is, you can suppose five questions were not enough, the class also gets excited, right? They'll say, ma'am, let's do five more questions. You can create more questions and then again choose, do you want to continue with the same topic? Do you want to go into the growth areas? Because sometime, if you have got 10 questions in the quiz, maybe 8 were correct, 2 were incorrect. You want to revisit only those two, not the ones which are already correct, that topic. So you can choose a growth area, you can customize how many you want. Maybe you want to raise the level of difficulty. So that is all possible right here once you have the canvas activated. More stuff comes in because you are using this with the perspective of how it will help your students. So it will also create a comprehensive study guide based on the material that you are using. So here is a study guide that has been then created. Whatever level you might be teaching, this might help your students. Again, how you will be able to share it with your students, you can always print this study guide. You can also click and, share it as an export to docs. You can copy content and then transfer to another word processor. So much more can still be done under the create. I can turn it into a web page. I can even make an infographic out of it, quiz out of it. Flashcards we have already seen, but there is endless possibilities. And infographics are amazing way of summarizing the entire information, and you are ready to then take it to the class and discuss it, maybe share it in the Google Classroom for their later revision. All of this just because I activated Canvas in Gemini and gave the prompt to start creating an interactive quiz. But this is just the one would say one of the possible use of Canvas. There's going to be many other possible ways of looking at it. And look at this. This is what we call as vibe coding. I'm completely hands off. I've never coded anything in my life. It's going to code and it will generate that infographic that we would want, or any other activity. So a lot of things are possible with the Gemini and Canvas in it. I'm going to first give you a quick look at some of them before we start, trying to create one, because sometimes the creation might take more time. So this is still processing, and I'm going to try and open up something on the side so that I can show you some of the activities that can be immediately done. So let's go into my chat. This will keep working. It won't disappear if I change the view. So here is one example that we are looking at. Here is an activity on perimeter and area. So you are able to create a task where the children are exploring the concept of uh, area and perimeter. And what again this has been done is, this is after repeated iteration. I wanted an interactive activity on the concept, but this prompt was very sketchy. I gave more and more instructions to it to turn it into not only a learning environment but also ending up with, so here is where you can demonstrate that when length changes, breadth changes, what is the effect of that on area and the perimeter. Then it also ends up with a game on identifying the various concepts that is being taught. So I can just take, here it's question on find the perimeter, and if I kind of go ahead, there's a level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. So if I get a wrong answer, what will happen, and when it's a right answer, then what will happen, we can keep thinking about this. So it's kind of given me the time up, and I've got the if I have got all of them correct, then it would take me to the next level. So these are things which have been coded by Gemini. I all have to do is give a prompt. So again, we are going to do a live demo of this, but before that, let's see if I can show you some more examples of things that have been created earlier. So if suppose you want to create again a gamified environment in your class, but your students don't have access to device, but you have, you can create a bingo. So think of class being divided into two teams, and you have a topic to revise. You can create a bingo, and there are three levels again here: easy, medium, hard. Again, how does that happen? Because I prompt the Gemini to do that. And you choose two teams, and then maybe the green team chooses the X, the first square opens up, you've got your the question coming up, x intercept of x plus y equal to. So if I type in say 1 and I check, it's going to be wrong answer, so I have missed my turn. The other team might pick up that, and then of course they might just say it's going to be 7, and then they check the answer, it gets a correct, and the that square is being taken out by the O team. So that's the kind of an excitement you can bring in your classroom by asking Gemini. So what did was the prompt for this one? This was the prompt which said, create a bingo of 3 by 3 square where class 11 math students are asked to solve questions on the two topics that I was revising at that time, geometric progression, and I wrote what exactly it must be. I want only the general term and sum of n terms. So, taking the specific topic that I want to focus on, and equation of line, and I mentioned what exactly topic I want, because these topics are big. So they might have more content in it, but I wanted it to be specific. And then you kind of again go and iterate. So what are the iterations? Add three difficulty levels instead of problem 1 and 2. So I wanted the label to show which topic is being picked, etc. You can even choose the color, use vibrant green and blue color for the question tiles. Everything is customizable. So there are a lot of exciting games that you can prepare for your students, which would be helpful for you. uh, Again, building up that excitement in the class, just because there are ways of doing this. You can also share what you have created, you can share with your students. Here is a share button. You can click on share. This then will open up a public link. Again, there is a little bit of a restriction. In the education account, it would not allow you to share. So that's a difference there. But you can always copy the link here, and you can demonstrate or share with your colleagues anywhere. There are ways, which again in advanced session we might cover, of embedding these games into a Google site and then making it public. So the code can be always used to add into a Google site. One last example that I'm showing, and then we'll do a quick demo, live demo of creating something with Canvas. So this is again a great, math racer. You have just a little game prepared where the students will be using, their cursors to change the flow. So 3 plus 7, oops, I'd missed because my fingers don't move as fast as the students' fingers might move. So you're looking at as a possibility of changing the lanes, creating these, and there are, a whole lot of excitement that comes in when you are asking students to do this. So this again, of course, was created by another educator and shared with me, so I'm able to share. But it is all about prompt. What do you want to create is going to decide, how you take that forward. So let's go and create one in the next less than 5 minutes, and see, what it looks like. So again, checking the chat in case somebody is getting excited about it. But Viva, are you thinking of some small, simple, let's not make it complicated, but something simple which we can immediately try and then ask others to try more complicated activities, and use your, general Gmail account and share with us,
Share
tweet
with
to us,
us.
or put it
Yes.
in our WhatsApp group, and
Yeah,
well, WhatsApp to us directly. It will be exciting to see.
absolutely.
What
What
are
about a
you
very
thinking of?
basic, something along the lines of a solar system? Very basic
Okay.
topic, very universal
Yeah.
topic.
So let's say create an interactive drag and drop.
Drag and drop is a very good idea.
Drag and
Drag
drop
and
is
drop.
very always versatile, right?
Yeah.
Whether you are creating one would say segregating certain quantities, you want that drag and drop kind of an activity. You can have also, it's applicable for English. Suppose you are
Yeah.
recognizing the verbs and adjectives kind of, and you want them to segregate it and put in different boxes. So anything is possible with drag and drop. Fractions matching with the shading in the rectangular or circular parts, that works as well. So create an interactive drag and drop activity on solar system. Let's see what it gives us. Solar system for introducing, because you need to give a little more brief as to what the purpose is. So
What
create
is
an
the purpose?
interactive drag and drop activity on clouds for introducing the planets,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and their specific, one would say, properties, perhaps, right?
The specific, yeah, the specific character properties is the same thing.
Yeah, characteristics. That should
Um,
work.
that should be okay.
Yeah,
On to
for, and let's keep the level for class 3,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So let's try this. Again, don't send out the prompt immediately. First, click on Canvas. This is the missing bit. If you don't choose that, it will not respond the same way. So it will give you something, but it will not create something which you are expecting. So the vibe coding, and here is that magic which is happening. And it will kind of talk to you, it will tell you what it is doing. So it says, I've created an interactive solar system matching game designed specifically for third grade students. It features a colorful drag and drop interface where children match each planet to its unique characteristic, helping them learn through play. And our game is ready. And look at the inviting, first card that comes up. Great job, Captain. And it kind of, because it's actually saying play again, so don't know why it started with that. But let's say if I say play again, okay, it's breaking.
There's
So
something
I'm
which
going to say no, that does not work. So again, the best thing about any of this is that we are looking at that iteration. If something doesn't work for you, tell Gemini, right? So you can just say that the game is not starting. So, right, you can just mention that, and let's say what it does. Again, as we said, the thrill of live demo, something must go wrong and will go wrong. So that is what is happening here. So it says that it's causing some minor hang or layout shift. There were some stars, I guess, in the background image.
Uh,
So it's going to generate another one, and it's going to say this. Let's say why it is still saying play again. No, it's not working as a play again. That's sad. Um, it says you can now drag the planets. No, it's
I think there's
not
some
working.
glitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Sometimes
why.
network also refuses to support us. That could be as basic as that.
Well, we can always blame the network, but I don't want to take that way out. Another thing that I have learned is that sometimes, continuing with the same chat and prompting it again and again is not of use.
Mm,
So we start fresh chat and, experiment again. So because it's still giving me the same card, play again, which is means that the problem is not fixed, right? So
yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and start a new chat, and I'm going to do another prompt. So create an interactive drag and drop activity on solar planets. Just let's do this solar system. Let's just do this and click on canvas, and always, so this is one of the things, again, the experience has taught me that don't push that again and again. One, we have to be careful that this is not a code which you can tamper with, so you can't come back and fix the code. Gemini only will have to find the fault and fix it. So instead of spending too much time over the same thing, I'm just, going to give another try to this and hope that, it works. There it is. So we've got something here, and it again says drag the planets to their correct position in the orbit. So it has given you that, and it has given you the position 1, 2. I hope you can see the
Yeah.
colors. But what
Yes.
I can always say is that, the colors are not visible, and
Mm,
I can say that change the background, because that is something which should work. So slot change color, visual feedback, etc. So I can always say that the slots are not visible, slots are not clear, so change background. So this
mm,
is something which I can always, prompt Gemini to do, and it will then fix that. So everything is possible. If it doesn't work the first time, just iterate, just ask it, this is the error. For example, if you are creating something in maths, sometime the text, the mathematical language, uh, it would come in the latex form, so there'll be those dollar signs around. Go back and ask it to render the maths equations again, and it will fix it. It also helps if instead of looking at the fast, if you choose the pro model, the output is always much better, much
mm,
interesting as well. So here is where you've got now the position, right? You have these slots, and you are looking at the Saturn, Mars, Earth, planet, etc. And it has also given you the progress. So again, if I open it up, maybe out of this, you will be able to see the bigger, window of it. But let's try to just randomly first drag and drop. If I have brought Mars in the first position, it's refusing to join in it, to get fixed in it. So you're
mm.
looking at the order in which the things have to come. So help me along now, Vibha. Let's test this out. And so it says wrong orbit. So which one should come in the first orbital, closer
M-
to the sun?
Mercury should be. Acha, we don't. Oh, I can see
We
Mercury.
do have
Yes.
Mercury. We do have Mercury.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just
yes.
okay.
Mercury
Let
is there.
me do this. Let's open this outside of this page. So I'll have a bigger screen to
Their screen, yeah.
work on. So that will give us a better view. Again, asking our spectators, viewers right now, see the format has changed. You can always
Ma'am,
now
you'll have
iterate and
to
say that give it to me in the orbital form, right? I don't want it to be like slots in a horizontal. I want the display to be like solar system. So this is all what goes into the iteration. So if you're looking at, bringing those, so suppose I bring Mercury up, does
Ma'am,
that go
you have
in?
to switch your screen, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
there. So what I was saying is it is kind of opened in a horizontal, but
Hmm.
what if I want it to be actually looking like solar system? Again, ask Gemini in Canvas that change the format of the slots and give them ring-like structure, and then it'll get more exciting. It'll
Yeah.
actually give the feel of the solar system rather than looking at just number one, number two, number three position. So this is, just the beginning of what you can do with Canvas. Try it out on your own and let us know, how it goes with you, because this is going to then maybe excite you, and you can then start creating more and more content for your students. Use them in your classroom just to get the students engaged, excited, but this can turn into a much deeper learning, the dependent on how you think. So if you want to make it a more complex game, coding game, or some kind of a mystery game, uh, the possibilities are endless in this situation. So do try that. I was going to just ask Gemini to create an orbital structure rather than try with the horizontal one, but I think I'll have to wait because we have really exceeded the time today. Yes, any specific comment coming in the chat that we need to address?
Nothing yet, ma'am. If there is anything, we would love to take your thoughts and we'd love to take your requests. We are pretty close to closing the session. If there's anything, again, any ideas, any requests, um, and if there's anything you're thinking of right now, oh, I've just learned this amazing thing and I want to, apply this in X and Y and Z topic that I am teaching in my class, we'd love to hear that as well. And as
Yeah.
Sangeeta ma'am was sharing, if there's something you create, please do share with us. We'd love to see. We'd love to you join our WhatsApp group, join our social media channels. We'd love to see all the things that you have created.
Yes, we would love to definitely see the creativity, and of course, because you are the subject expert,
Yeah,
so you would know better, what works for you and how these ideas are suitable for your classroom. The possibilities, as we said, are endless. You can use Canvas to create presentations for you. You can create activities like what we have talked about right now. You can again look at wherever you want some movement happening, some kind of a interactiveness happening. Choose Canvas and see the difference coming in. So this is, something exciting. And you see, as I was talking, I was not happy with the horizontal arrangement, never satisfied, I gave it the command of give an orbital structure to the solar system. So now it has given me these place marks which are, around the sun. And now I think the activity would become much more meaningful if I, drag and drop something here. Does it look better?
it does. It
It
definitely does.
does. It does. It gives me satisfaction, right?
It
So
does.
possibilities are open for you. Definitely go ahead, try it out, and get back to us. Let us know how excited are you to try and use this idea with you. So thank you
Yes.
so much, everyone, for joining us today. Definitely, we look forward to bringing more sessions to you in the coming weeks. Let us know what works for you, what didn't work for you, and what else would you like to learn with us. We would definitely be excited to hear from you. So you now know that Gemini is not just chat. Click on tools, and if you're curious to see how the images would help you, or what is guided learning, what is deep research, ask us. We'll bring back those sessions on you
Absolutely.
for you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so
Any
much.
last words? That we do have a participation certificate.
Yeah. You
Can
will
we
find the
add?
link. Yeah, you will find the link in the comment section. I have just sent the link in the comment section. If you can just go ahead and leave your feedback, and of course related to that you will get the certificate for this session as well.
Yes.
But again, just kind of extending on to what ma'am said, there is a little blank in the feedback form that says if there are any specific requests that you want from, I mean, you want us to focus on. So if you feel like you want us to work on a particular thing, and like we started talking, if there's somebody who's joined us midway, this is going to be a series. We're going to do a few sessions on the power of Gemini. So before we start planning the next one, we'd love to hear from you. I mean, if there's something specific you feel like, please go ahead, address this particular topic in the next session, we'd love to do that. So please make sure you do fill out the form for your certificate, and to make sure that you get to learn what you want in the next session. So thank you for joining in.
Right. Thank you. And see you soon again sometime in the month of February. Bye, everyone. Take
Sure.
care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye. Closing here, Viva.
Closing. We are about to close. We can see a lot of people saying